Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Coming up on the show today, we're showing alternative album covers. So I've got my friend Dan from Off the Charts here with me. How you going, Dan?
Very good, and you?
Yeah, very good, very good. So this wasn't really very well planned out, was it? We just had a little chat on the email this morning.
Again, you're gonna make me laugh. I'll take a sip. Yeah, we found out that we have different time zones. No, well, no,
Oh, yeah.
we have different daylight saving times when we set them. How do you say that? When
Yeah,
we set
time
them up?
zones. Yeah, yeah. Well, daylight savings had changed for you, but it hasn't changed here in New Zealand.
Yeah. So we
Yeah,
learned that today.
yeah, we learned that. Yeah, yeah. So I usually was thinking, 18 hours difference. So I took 18 away from the time that I thought we were going to be doing it. And yeah, and then I get an email from Dan. It's 9:30 my time. What's going on? So anyway, it's okay. I know now. We've all worked it out. But also what I was saying too is that usually when we're doing a show, we might plan it, a couple of days beforehand. But we only just decided on this morning. Well, yeah, this morning my time.
Yeah.
And basically it came about from a show I did actually on another channel, Peter Kerr's Rock Daydream show channel, where I joined him and we talked about heavy pitting and we talked about heavy pitting in general actually, and but on that show I talked about the fact that the debut heavy pitting album was self-titled and also had a different album cover, I think, in the States and maybe Canada as well, right? So, and then Dan mentioned that, yeah, he had the alternative cover, and that sort of got me thinking, well, probably in Dan's extensive collection and in my collection as well, we could actually show examples of the different covers that we have. So, kind of going through our collection and
I was confused. When I was watching your thing, I'm like, what album are they talking about? Like I
yeah.
seriously confused. And then I'm like, I had to go look at the track list.
Especially too because it's not self-titled too, so it's called Letting Loose. So different cover, different title. So you might have thought this is some heavy pitting album I don't have.
Exactly. I thought there was one that I didn't have. I was like super confused. I'm like, which one are they talking about? I'm like, and anyway, now it's all settled, and this is the reason for this episode here.
Yeah. So we've got about 9 sort of examples here. I mean, there are a lot more than 9 where there's different album covers. But what we found, we talked about some just through emails and stuff, and a lot of the ones that we mentioned to each other, we had both. We both had the same album cover. We didn't have the different album cover, so that wasn't going to work. Or Dan had the album, but I didn't actually have the album, or he didn't have the album. So there are other ones. So we do know that there are lots of albums for whatever reasons in different areas of the world. They might get a different cover. So so let's get into it, Dan. So the first one I'm going to start off with is a very well-known album. So I'm going to show the album cover that most people know about and will have seen, and it's Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. So this is the one most people know about, and I think this cover is the cover that pretty much was released everywhere, but initially it was released in Japan, and it had, what cover did it have, Dan? That's right, that one.
A little different, huh?
Quite different. Trust you to have that one, eh?
This is Japan, and I'm actually surprised you don't have this one here.
No, I do. I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I just thought, if you've got it, you show that one.
Okay. Yeah. But I read or I heard that the reason they changed to the version you have, that I had your version on cassette. And I bought this when I started my sexist album covers and all that. The reason that they changed it, I heard, was you guys want to sell some albums, get rid of this and go with something a little bit more neutral. I guess it worked. So this is the Japan only, right?
Yeah. But there's quite a few copies of it. I mean, like I say, I've got a copy of it. I mean, it's not super easy to get, but it's not that expensive. You've got to buy it usually probably from Japan, but yeah, there's enough copies of it over there.
But this is the same picture in the back, right? Inside there. From what I remember, this is
the
from
back
the
cover's different.
maybe not the back, but the insert. I remember this thing
The
this somewhere.
insert has, well, my insert has actually the car wash, some of the girls from the car wash. So
okay.
Yeah. So that,
I think the tour book had this girl on it, right? For this tour?
Maybe. Not sure.
I think I saw that.
But that girl was one of
research.
That girl was one of these girls. That girl was one of these girls here. Maybe this one here.
Yeah.
Not sure. Yeah.
I had it, like I said, I had it on cassette as a kid. That was one of my first non-Kiss albums as a kid.
Right. Yeah. As I've said on my channel before, this was a big album for me. This is kind of what sort of got me into hard rock and metal. But yeah, no, I didn't know anything about the alternative album cover. You know, it's interesting that you say, you know, oh, maybe it made a difference, or you know, it might have helped. I don't know. Do you think it would have? Because I mean, the songs were such big songs, and you can totally understand that they would be successful with those songs.
Oh, if you were a guy, definitely you would buy this version.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But Bon Jovi was huge with the girls. And
getting that mainstream.
But remember back then, like I said, remember the Video Vixens thing I did? The sexism in videos was a bad thing at the time. Like it was frowned upon. That's what I mean. A lot of things were getting banned at the time. Like this video was too sexist or too that. So I think that Slippery When Wet, the version you have, was a better move for them.
Yeah.
But I prefer this album cover, obviously, there. But
yeah. And the thing too, they probably spent quite a lot of money on that, on the whole, you know, album cover and everything like that. But the story is that John Bon Jovi, he just goes in one day into the studio, the photo studio, whatever, with his photographer, and he just gets a plastic bag, puts water over it, and then just hand writes Slippery When Wet all over the bag. Yeah. So he actually did it himself, John Bon Jovi. Yeah, I think he just got a bit frustrated with it all. But anyway, so that's the first one. Second one, I didn't actually even know that this had an alternative cover. You suggested it to me.
So you want me to show mine first, or?
Yeah, why not? We'll go with your one first. Yeah.
Yeah, the back is this. And I found this in my friend's a big Michael Schenker MSG fan. So I'm like, I'm going to get this. And I'm like, he's like, what is that? It's like, I've never seen that cover. And it's this cover. And I think you're going to show. I found this in a used, yeah, exactly. So see there?
Yeah.
That's,
and then the back cover is pretty much exactly the same, except it just has their name sort of written in. Yeah.
This is a Canadian release, yeah?
Yeah.
This is a Canadian press. So, but yeah, I this was my my second one, I think, just because I'm like, I'll get this one because I remember seeing it at a used store, and my friend's like, what is that? I've never seen that cover, and he has yours, but he collects CDs and all that.
Right.
So here's a Canadian pressing of this.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing with Michael Ulschreicher because this is the second album. The previous album's called MSG, just MSG, and then he does another album later on where it's also called MSG. He has two self-titled albums, but that's when Macaulay's in it. But so
this one's also called technically MSG, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not. It's Michael Schenker Group. But so he's got three self-titled albums in a way. But yeah.
So you never saw this?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know that had an alternative album cover. Yeah. To be honest, I think I prefer this one.
For sure. For yours is a lot better. I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just too generic for me there.
The only critique I'd have is that they then do have exactly the same on the back. That's not so interesting. But yeah,
but I got the picture. You've got like the pencilless drawing, I think, on both.
Well, that's the thing. In some ways, it makes more sense. You've got the picture on the front, and then you've got the guys on the back. At least it's different. It sort of repeats itself, but the one I've got. But yeah, I don't know. And yeah, can't think of any reason why that would have happened. But
yeah, yours is way better.
Anyway, next one. Now, you might know more about this one because I think you're a bit more of a Kiss expert than me. But this one's very, very confusing. So this is Creatures of the Night.
So the original version, and I did find this, by the way, on a cassette. I forgot I had this.
Right.
So 1982, this happens. This comes out. Creatures of the Night.
Yeah.
Also on cassette. CDs weren't existing at the time. So when the CD came out, they released it, but with your version that you have with Bruce Kulick and on the cover. And I went to it was the record company. The reasoning behind it, I forget, to be honest. But we met them at the Kiss convention. There was a Kiss convention 90, a little bit before the Unplugged thing there. And someone asked him, what is up with that Creatures of the Night? And he goes, we're going to fix that. And that's when they came out with the remastered CDs. So, which had the original. This is a much better, I think, their album cover for.
It's also, that's the people who played on it, right? In theory, at least.
Exactly. Bruce Kulick goes, and he goes, like, fans were like, what's up with that? And Bruce
He's
Kulick
not even on the album.
How do you think I feel? I haven't even played on the album. So it was like Vinnie Vincent and a whole bunch, Ace a little bit to a point there, but very, very little, if not even nothing there, but still nothing about Bruce Kulick in there at all. It's a mystery. It makes no sense.
Especially when you think the next album, they make a big deal about, hey, we're on the cover and we're unmasked. And then they re-release the previous album and they don't have masks on. But
see, I didn't know it was on a vinyl, like your version. I didn't know it existed on a vinyl.
Yeah.
And then, because I remember having it on cassette. Like I just here, and the CD. But remember when CDs first came out? It was, like they're all silver. It was from the original cassette recording. It came out with that cover also.
Yeah.
And then at the convention, Kiss is like, we're going to fix that. And it makes no sense. That was the record company doing that. Well, we all know Kiss.
Oh,
take it with salt there. But that makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm glad they fixed it.
I thought maybe it was like, maybe Kip, maybe Gene or Paul even had something to, I don't know, but had something to do with it because maybe they were like, oh, we don't, I don't want any of the past the older members that are no longer in the band, on the cover. Maybe there's some bad feelings towards them or something.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I'm sure there was bad feelings, but nothing. But again, that move made no sense because Bruce Kulick's not even on the recording. So both sides lost on that one.
Yeah, it does say here. So this is a 1985 release. So it's 1985 press. But then it does say previously released as, and it gives you like the the barcode and everything, or the catalog number. But yeah, this is made in West Germany, so European press. But
mine is, like I said, with the logo, the normal logo there from Kiss there, with not the German one there.
Right. What is the on your vinyl copy? What does the back cover look like?
Oh, nothing really special. Just a.
Oh, see, this is someone's pants.
Oh, the jeans. I remember the jeans. Yes, or the leather pants. I should say.
Leather pants. Yeah.
What's the track listing? Is it Creatures, Saint and Sinner, Keep Me Coming?
Different track listing. Well, it's different order. I think. It's got Creatures, then it's got Killer. And then it's got
that's Killer's on side 2 here. See, on my cassette of this version, Killer's on side 2.
Ah. Yeah, Keep Coming, Rock and Roll Hell, Danger. side 2 starts with I Love It Loud, then I Still Love You, Saint and Sinner, then War Machine. Yeah.
So they changed Killer and Saint and Sinner on yours.
Okay.
Because I have, yeah, the German version, they changed the track listing. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird too, isn't it? But
track listing and different covers. But yeah, it's even as a kid, I was like, what is this? Like, even my friends were like, we still bought it because we wanted that that album, you know. Back then, finding those albums was not as easy as it is now there, but
no. And you know, it's confusing because like it's not like you had the internet then. So you're like, I didn't think he was, you know, so anyway.
Yeah. We knew our Kiss though, we knew there's something wrong. There was that wasn't right. We knew that much.
Yeah. Okay, so next one, another pretty big band, but this is their debut album, and this is before they broke big. And it's Europe. This is their debut album from, I think it's 83. Yeah, 83. Now, I think this is the original cover, and the one you've got might be, it could be, I'm not sure about it, but it could be like when it got reissued later on.
Canadian from 1989.
There we go. Maybe.
That makes, because yeah, in the back you got this.
Yeah, I got the same back cover.
Yeah, the back is the same, but 5 years. When did Final Countdown come out? Like 1986?
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I think the first album got a big, you know, reissued because you know they become quite a popular band at that point. So,
yeah.
But this is kind of, it says
you've
here,
got the original. I've got the
this
reissue.
Yeah, made in Holland. This is 83. Yeah, so maybe it's an original press. Yeah.
All right, 1989. That makes so this was a reissue then, not a different country. Well, I guess Canadian. Well, Europe did. We didn't know Europe until the Final Countdown came out.
Yeah,
so that's probably Final Countdown.
This probably never got released in Canada. I mean, it didn't get released in New Zealand either, right? Like it just
probably an import section.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but you know that I noticed that happens sometimes with those bands who became popular. Suddenly, like I remember talking, going back to Bon Jovi, we didn't get the first. I don't remember even ever seeing the first 2 Bon Jovi albums. Although, granted, I wasn't really looking for hard rock or metal at that point, but I do remember once Slippery When Wet became popular, all of a sudden they were like, oh, you can see all these other Bon Jovi albums the other 2 Bon Jovi albums were now.
I remember seeing them in magazines. I didn't have any Jovi before that.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember
you probably did because they were actually relatively successful albums too. It's just, it's just, I think definitely though with Europe, you know, and Wings of Tomorrow as well, the follow up after this, this one. I mean, so that hadn't been commercially successful. So that's actually a really hard one to get or find. But
that one too,
yeah. But anyway, yeah, cool. And actually, interesting, talking about Europe, the Final Countdown also has an alternative cover, but we happen to both have the same cover. So
I have the one with all the earth there and the
But there is a different cover as well. But I think it just has the band on it. I
saw. I went to see it. I'm like, just in case. I'm like, is there a different order of the pictures or something? But
yeah. All right, next one. So we've actually showed this one before. I think when I did female-fronted hard rock and metal, and you showed some of the female-fronted albums that you had. And so I'll show you my version. This is the version that was released everywhere except for some reason Canada got a different version. Just Canada, yeah.
Yeah, and your version is the ones that were in all the magazines.
Yeah.
And then I saw this used. I'm like, what is that? Like, I knew who Femme Fatale was.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? I'm like, okay, it's the same songs and all that. And in the back cover, you got, I don't know if it's.
Oh, yeah, slightly different back. You got a different back cover as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yours is. a lot better.
Yeah,
That one.
it is.
Yeah, I wish I had that version, but I'm like, I wish, looks wise, I had yours, but I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty happy having something different,
Yeah,
even if it looks like
it's
pretty
interesting. They're really focusing in on Lorraine Lewis, aren't they?
exactly. Except on the back that you got the whole band, but
Yeah, yeah,
when you wouldn't know it was a band, you'd think it was just her,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yours looks
yeah.
a little more classier, I find.
Yeah, it is a little bit. It's almost about what's going on there with that. You don't really see the guys behind her and stuff. So it's sort of like, yeah, it doesn't really make that much sense. But
You see two of them, like one there and one
yeah,
there, like
yeah,
so
yeah,
you're like, who's in the band? It makes no sense.
yeah. But
Maybe Canada doesn't know how to release records, probably. I don't know.
yeah, it's weird because I had a look on Discogs too, and it's only Canada that had that cover. So
Yeah.
Canada exclusive.
But like, imagine myself. I'm like, I knew Femme Fatale. Like, I
Yeah.
see it.
Mm,
I had the picture, your picture,
mm,
in my head, and I see this. I'm like, what is this? Like, you
mm,
think it'd be a single, how
mm.
they do.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nope, it was an album. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting that.
Yeah. Oh well. Cool. All right. So next one is the album that gave us the idea for this show, um, and it's Heavy Petting, Letting Loose. So this is the debut Heavy Petting. But what's interesting, as Dan's about to show you, not only does it have a different cover, it's not called Letting Loose. It's self-titled. So a little bit
Self-titled,
confusing, Dan.
yeah. This is again a Canadian release.
Yeah. And so
So
Canada and US, yeah, had that cover. Yeah.
I found this actually last summer. I was trying to find the one you were mentioning today, Rock Ain't Dead, and I'm like, I
Mm,
see this. I'm like, okay, well, this is another one of those hair metal
mm,
bands I would just try to get here. And of course, you got the back. It's like a drive-in. I thought it was a cemetery at first. If you look like really quick there, but I had the picture like super small. I'm like, when I look at my so yeah, you got a car with two legs
mm, mm.
or two people getting on at the drive-in, I guess there, and
Right.
there's your back cover right there. So another Canadian release that is extremely different. Yeah, this is the back.
Yeah. Quite different. Yeah.
And imagine my confusion this morning when I was watching your episode with the other guy, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, am I missing something here? Like, and of course, we had the same album,
Yeah.
different title,
Yeah.
and different cover, everything. And then you mention it later on in the episode. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I have another Canadian release that confuses people. Or they're onto something and they're like, yeah, let's make some money in 300 years in the future.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you weren't sure about the song titles, you might go, "Oh, I haven't got that one," and you end up buying it, and then you get it home.
Exactly.
It's like, "Oh, it's got all the same songs that are on this album."
Is
But
it all in the same order? Is it In and Out of Love, Broken Heart, Love on the Run,
yeah,
Love Times Love,
yeah,
Victims of
no,
the
it
Night?
is. It's all the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all the
There you
same.
go.
We did when I was talking about this with Peter. We did also. Well, he made the point that he didn't think it was very. This was a very good cover. And I was like, yeah, yeah, maybe not the greatest, but and I'm
It's
not
not as
sure. Not sure if that one's an improvement though. Yeah,
yours is more
a bit more
uh,
interesting.
there's a mystique about it, I find.
Mm.
But I don't know. The logo makes it look like the logo makes it look like an Asian band, if you ask
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of a similar logo here, but
Yeah, that one too.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. But of course, they've got the one thing we pointed out was it looks like a lady's hand is pulling the down, but then maybe it's a man's hand because it's got no.
Well,
Um,
here, yeah, it's man's legs right here and
oh
a
yeah,
woman's legs right
yeah, that's
there. So,
right.
like I said, they're getting it on at the drive-in, watching heavy petting on a big drive-in screen. All you kids know what drive-ins are.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I didn't actually mention when I was on Peter's show, Heavy Petting, the name, it comes from a UFO album. That's how they got the name for their band. So.
Oh yeah. Now I get it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Next one. I'm not really sure why this one has a different cover. but it's Fastway and On Target.
And I've got Fastway on Target, but I have that on CD also. Yours,
Right.
Your version, I have it on CD. This is the vinyl, and of course, it is a looks to be Amsterdam. That's German.
Okay. Yeah, this one's. It says it's. Yeah. Bro, this one's made in Canada, so I've got a Canadian one, believe it or not.
Well, there you go. It explains my CD then.
Yeah.
I have that your version on,
printed in Canada. Here we go. I've got the
this
Canadian.
is a terrible cover. Is this picture in here?
I'm not sure.
Like,
it is. Yours is the worst one.
Yeah, and of course, there's the picture for.
Right. It's weird that it's only the two of them, but on this one, it's like there's four in the band.
Four, yeah, the band. Yours, that one's a lot better. But yeah,
really,
this is
at this point, I don't know who. I mean, it really was Leah Hart and who's the guy?
Don Airey is on keyboards here.
Yeah, Eddie Clark. Yeah, but it really is just those two. But yeah, they've got Don Airey. That there's Neil Murray's on bass guitar.
Neil Murray. Oh my God, yeah.
They've got lots of additional sort of players. I'm not sure.
I hate this album. This is so bad. I do not like this one at all. This guy's voice is I know you like him.
Yeah, I like him. I like Leah.
I can't stand his voice, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's I think the songwriting he did with them was really good too. But yeah, anyway.
But yeah, I think Target.
I think possibly it really was a two-man band at this point, because if you look at all the special guests, maybe they've got these guys in here, you know, making out like it's a band, and then it's interesting. Your cover just has the two of them. I think it pretty much was just those two guys with whoever they could get to come in at that point. But all right, moving on now. This one's an interesting one. I've got and I know that you've got the uncensored version.
Uncensored?
Yeah. I know you have. I actually went back and looked at some of your old shows. It's like, I'm pretty sure Dan's done a show on this band and he's got the uncensored version. So I quickly went back and watched. It's like, yes, you did. You showed it. But I unfortunately have the censored version. So this is Hurricane, Slave to the Thrill, which is a great album, one of my favorites. But there we go. He's got the lady on the
So
machine.
If you ask me, I think both suck as a cover. Yours is confusing.
Yeah.
Is extremely sexist, and like, this is not gonna you're not gonna sell apart from maybe your male audience, and yours is just confusing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, at least it makes a bit more sense. Slave to the Thrill, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But I was like,
but I don't know how this says. This doesn't say. What is this? This picture does not say Slave to the Thrill, does it? Like,
no, it's just a.
What is this thing? Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the probe that's going to enter there. I'm just like, wow. Like,
I guess you can, probably see why it did.
I don't know, like, who thought this was going to sell?
Yeah.
And your version, the censored version, that'll make more sense. You're like,
it's a shame. I think it's an underrated album, but anyway, that's the way it went down. Okay, so last record, and then Dan's actually got some extra stuff to show. But in fact, and Dan's not going to show a record for this one. So this is Bullet Boys and Freak Show. And I think you've got a CD that's different for this.
So, and every time I was looking online, I kept seeing this picture. I'm like, what is that? So I research, and look. It's a CD that, Freak Show back in like a Freak Show. So it kind of, I've mentioned it on my channel one time, but it's pretty cool.
It is.
You just got to look at it, and it looks like an old 3D camera there. The gimmick's pretty cool. I still like the original cover. Like, I had this on cassette. Your version. I had it on cassette and CD at the time. Now I have it on vinyl. But pretty proud to have found this one here. It's I forget where this is written so small, and yes, people now you're going to see him wear glasses. Even with, I can't even tell. it's
Yeah.
The coloring is like blue, but it's written super small. I can't even tell you what
Was
for
that just
promotion only. So this is a promo.
Yeah.
You can see
I
this.
think it might have been just a, yeah, like you say, a promo, or just like, just for the first few copies of, of its release, like a,
Yeah, it doesn't really say which. Anyway, looks like it's a promo copy.
Yeah.
Apparently,
It's
whoever
cool though.
sold me this made a profit because he wasn't supposed to sell it to me, right? You're supposed to give it to me.
All right,
Anyway,
what have you got? What do you got to finish off with? You got
all
some.
right. I got some. All right. So when I first started listening to Kim Mitchell, this is the cassette and the CD that came out. Then when I
Yeah.
started collecting vinyls, I found this.
Yeah.
So it's an alternative cover. This one has more mysteriousness to it. This one is
Yeah.
you just when you see Kim Mitchell, with the OPP hat and all that.
Yeah.
They're not great album covers, if you ask me there, but I still kind of prefer this one a little bit because it's more mysterious. And of course, in the back, different. It's both are Canadian releases. Just one came before, like a first
Right.
pressing, second
Yeah.
pressing.
Yeah.
So I got that. This one, probably a lot of people know about it. So I forget which country. So I got Judas Priest Hellbent for Leather, but which was originally titled Killing Machine. So I forget which country had it was supposed to be called Killing Machine first, then came out as Hellbent for Leather, but the remasters came back with the original. So I think this is the original, right? Killing Machine. So the remastered went true to the original release, I guess. There, Hellbent for Leather. We both don't have a copy of Point of Entry. That would have been another one to the one with the dot matrix paper highway there makes it's bad. Last one. So I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan, so I have Along Came a Spider. I forget the reason. This is 20 years old, if not. I had this. I thought maybe there was a bonus track. This is probably the most valuable vinyl I have in my collection. It's
I've never
great.
seen that.
What's that?
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it came out. I got it on his website. I forget. Probably think it was a bonus track or something. I didn't have a turntable at the time.
Right.
I remember going to my cousin's place to go and listen to this just to see if it sounds good there. But yeah, I got this. This is how all the releases look like for Along Came a Spider. But for some reason, there was a different, a German release. This is also Germany. So that doesn't answer the question at all. So,
no, that's really cool though. Good to see that.
But yeah, everybody knows this one, but I've have yet to see anybody with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was saying here, if I don't know anybody, if anybody out there has this besides me, let me know or comment in the chat in the comment section on the Steve's video there. But I'm curious to see about this one. Like I honestly forget why I bought this at the time. This was 2008. That was 15 years ago I bought this. I've only had a turntable for like 5 years. So, but there's no difference at all. I thought there was a bonus track maybe at the time, but anyway, I got something cool that apparently not many people have. So there you go. So that's my last one of same. And it was both were Germany, right? Yeah.
That's cool. Have you looked up on Discogs like what that sells for or anything like that? That the vinyl?
Yeah, this bad version about 127. near mint or mint, whatever, $450 or something like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's easily one of my top, and it's shape. There's nothing wrong with it at all there. I honestly, and the hype sticker, this one's actually a sticker. I left it on there, obviously there, but it's not like the Vinnie Vincent I showed you the other day. The hype sticker was in the cardboard, like part of the album cover. This is a sticker, so, but yeah, 450. I checked today actually just to see there, but yeah, $454. So anyway, I'm just curious if anybody out there has it. So
yeah, no, definitely. Cool. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the show. Like I said though, there were some that we emailed each other about, and we're not able to show. I might just quickly actually just mention some of these. Are some of the ones that Dan suggested. Saxon Forever Free. It's got with the motorcycle. So
yeah,
that
I think it was a UK release. The one I have is like a
right.
But trust me, the one I have is a lot better than the motorcycle.
Yeah.
The motorcycle was like the tire is as wide as the motorcycle itself there. So
yeah. Okay, cool. And then there was Autograph. That's the stuff. We both had the red one, but there's one that looks quite similar, right? And I think I've seen the CD version of it.
Exactly. I've seen the CD version. It's the same robot woman.
Yeah.
Different pose, though. Different pose.
Yeah.
And the background is blue as opposed to being pink, the one we have.
So we don't know. That might just be a CD one rather than it may not. There might not be a vinyl version of that cover.
I didn't check, but that's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And we also we asked about the Great White Hooked album, but we both got the uncensored versions, haven't we? Yeah, the one you want. But I think in the censored one, there's no lady on the hook, right? It's a bit like the Hurricane.
You see the lady, but you only see her like
right.
When you see her all topless.
Well, if you see a lady, unlike my Hurricane one, there's no lady. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. The hooked is you see her about to here, like the hook is all inside the water.
Right. Okay.
That part I remember definitely seeing in the stores at the time.
Right. Okay. A few other ones here. Lee Aaron. The first albums is a little bit different, isn't it? There's some different versions of the first album.
So yeah, I have the first Lee Aaron. The one I have, I believe, is a reissue because the first one looks like a skateboard. I talked about on my channel when I did my Lee Aaron ranking, and it's a skateboard on it with like just called the Lee Aaron Project.
That's the one. Yeah.
It got reissued as a Lee Aaron album.
Yeah. That's right. It was called had Project added to it. Yeah. So I'm like you. I've just got the normal, just Lee Aaron. Now, and also we talked about Poison, Open Up and Say Ah. Now we've both got the uncensored one. So I think it's just got the eyes, right? When it's censored, I think it's
it was just honestly.
Don't see the
I don't see the big deal out of that one. I was like, wow, why was this censored?
Yeah, exactly.
Personally,
yeah,
I can see why Hooked was censored, but this one, I was like, come on. How many Kiss album covers you got? Gene Simmons with a tongue as long as that one, and that gets censored.
I won't talk about them all, but yeah, you had quite a good list here, Dan, and obviously there's the Scorpions Virgin Color one, which I don't.
None of us.
I don't have that one.
Or want to admit they own, right?
Yeah. Well, it's probably worth a bit of money, but no, I actually don't have any version of that one. But there we go.
I have the one with the 5 guys on it.
Yeah, sure.
I remember as a kid, I was like 10, going to the record store and seeing that, not being affected by it, and then now you're talking about it in 2003, and you're like, oh my god, it's like
seems unbelievable, doesn't it? Yeah,
one of the worst album covers to talk about.
Yeah. And yeah, I know that Wasted Save Your Prayers, that does have a different cover to it's got. We've both got the one with the sort of the muscular guy with the sword sort of thing. Yeah.
But there's one with what the hell's his name there? Pete Way.
Yeah.
He's like sitting on a brick wall, sitting like on the floor on a brick wall, and it's Save Your Prayers again, it says on it.
Yeah. I couldn't quite remember actually I knew there was an alternative, but yeah, okay. Yeah. Cool. And then I also made some suggestions. I know that the Rock Goddess, Hell Hath No Fury. There's a couple of different covers of that one. And Gary Moore, Corridors of Power, also has this a slightly different cover.
My friend has a Gary Moore album. I'll look to see if maybe that's the one.
It's the one I've got. It's the much better one. It's just a nice photo, but yeah. Anyway, there's some ones that we can't show you because we don't have the alternative, or we just have one version of them. And there's probably more as well. In fact, feel free to leave a comment of some other ones that you can think of that we haven't talked about. I think, like there's been various reasons we've discussed. Sometimes it's like a censorship type thing, or they just feel like it'd be more appropriate to change the cover in some areas. So some countries they just end up getting a different cover than other places. So
the ones we talked about today weren't much about censorship.
Not many, no.
Well, Bon Jovi maybe there, but
and the Hurricane one, yeah,
Hurricane. Yeah. But apart from that, it's like very
and it's quite fun to go. Well, what country ended up with the better cover, and or maybe they're both good, or maybe they're both bad. And it's kind of interesting anyway. And just something that came up today, and so we've ended up making a episode of it. So thanks for joining me again, Dan. It's been really good, and
no problem. My pleasure.
What have you got coming up that you want to talk about?
I'm just gonna say, if people have any comments, I'm getting paid next week, so you never know. I can get some more albums to go and make a part 2 of.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Sorry, what?
Oh, the problem with doing the show sometimes, isn't it? That you go, I've got to go and get that album now. Yeah.
I've got my next episode's coming on Friday morning, Canada or North American time. It's a concert review from a concert that I went to see, Toto with Journey. I'll let you guys know if there was any drama happening at that show or not, and who was the best band that night. I guess you'll have to tune and find out. It's mostly, like I said, a little me talking about the show, and then I took some video footage. So there you go.
Sounds good. All right, well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, check out Dan's channel, and if you haven't, hit that subscribe button so you get to know anytime Rock and Metal Invasion is putting out a new episode. All right, that's it for today, and I'll see you next time. See ya.
Thank you. Have a good one.